Okay, so hmm. Oh, is that why it's weird? Okay. Hmm. I managed to get this finished up, so we're on to the last. Oh, I managed to get 48 finished up, so we're on to 49. Hey, Koba, we're making good progress. Hey, Robot. Add a little section here where. Ooh, nice. Added a section here where Jun is like actually using magic. Ooh, I'm glad to hear. You feeling accomplished? Oh, hmm, that sucks. But yeah, uh, Robert, I added a little section where we are seeing the effects of Jun's. Oh, okay, cool. Ah, oh, nice. You were going for the bad ending then. Well, that's good to hear. But yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so we're planning out this section where we're having. Uh, um. uh, okay, so. We see. Oh. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, unfortunately. Hey, Alan. I managed to finish the last of the writing for. Hmm. Yeah. I like the idea that Jun doesn't feel the need to explain themselves at all, which is kind of like a major shift with regards to how they are, um, like how they are dealing with things, right? They have decided that. Yeah, I know. It's like a major shift in how I kind of want them to go forward, right? Like until now, they've kind of been. Anyways, but yeah, like Jun is very much coming into their own at this point, and they are feeling a little more confident, and like we've seen hints of this with Jun, with the way Jun dealt with that assassin back when they were leaving Bolin. But overall, um, overall, Jun is of the opinion that as long as it's subtle enough, they just don't need to. They just don't need to explain anything. So, in the sense of something like, Grace, say, the assassination coming in or whatever else, like dealing with this with the assassination, it's still sufficiently. Oh, nice. Congrats on the heal team. But yeah, assassinations usually go pretty weird around June. I think like they were kind of pushed to do that, so I want to see a little more magic and key bullshit going on when they return to I don't know about not arrogant. I think Jun will. I think it's somewhat of a natural consequence of their position that Jun will end up being a little bit like arrogant and paternalistic, where they're just kind of expecting people to follow their lead. But they are going to be less abrasive and definitely more confident. And like obviously no crippling alcoholism, but that's just kind of because Jun is. It takes a lot to get Jun drunk, so it's like not super worth it for them. But yeah, so I'm going to. I do want to definitely see more magic in the near future for the Victor's Coalition. Or not for the Victor's Coalition, but for Jun specifically. I think that between the perks they have enough to start training other people with Ki. Like, not immensely, but I think they will be able to at least with the right experiments, figure out how to awaken like a low level of Ki in people. So I'm thinking that's going to be a thing, at least for like the effective Royal Guard for Vit. I'm also planning on having the Victus system, which is going to be. It's not right. It's not over here. I'm going to adjust the position slightly so it's a little bit further north. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna see final celebration before them leaving Canopus. Time skip to returning to the Victus Coalition. Oh, 1 second. In just a moment, I'll be right back. Garlic bread specifically. Yeah, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I've got my garlic bread. Okay, so how are we going to be handling the whole Victus Coalition stuff? Are we going with a full return? Like, because the travel time is significant, even if they're going to be hiding at least some of it, some of their capabilities. I'm not sure if they would. Because there's a certain level of additional capability. Like, they are smarter, but that doesn't mean that that the improvements that they can make are more than incremental, right? There are only so many correct answers. And even if they can make some progress, that is definitely going to be a thing, right? And I've already had hints, already included hints of Jin making some making some plans along those lines. Now, I don't want to do a time skip because if we consider the distance from Canopus to, well, technically it's going to be what, Mangor to Illyria. Mangor to Illyria. What the fuck? The fuck? Okay. We're going back to this. Mangor. Illyria. I have no idea. Where are they going? Okay, some weird route with that, but yeah. And let's add Niops in the middle of there so that we don't pass through the Free Worlds League. But yeah, that's still a total of, at 30 light years, that is 8 plus 4, about 12 jumps. Even if Jun is jumping once every 3 days, like even if we're doing like a speedy return trip once every 3 days, they are going to be they're going to be what's it called? They're going to be traveling for over a month, right? So 3 days, 12 jumps, 36 days. It's over a month that they'll be traveling, not including the week-long pause that they'll be holding at Mangor after jumping out of Canopus. Canopus has a 2-week transit time, so that's almost 2 whole months that they'll be transiting from Canopus to from Canopus to Illyria. So we need to fill 2 months. 2 months. I'm not sure why it's accepting this weird uninhabited system jump thing. What's so special about Warlock? Oh, I know what happened. Ah. It's because I screwed up the... Okay, so I think I know how to fix this. If I go into the planets.json and I go into Victus, so if I go into systems and I go into Victus, and then there are a bunch of these that have these like neighbors that are weird. So I need to grab that and put you at the end. And then everything will be fixed. So now if I refresh this and I do the jump route from what's this? What was it called? Mangor Illyria. Yeah, it's doing the proper route this time. So I remove. But yeah, now it's working properly. Oh, I'll fix that properly. I'll fix that. I'll do that in more detail later. But yeah, I also figured out how to adjust the size of these circles, like the jump range circles. There is one specific variable in... It is right here. If I change this to 40, that goes from that range. Oh, actually, I need to hard refresh it. But it goes from... Did I forget to hit save here? There we go. So you can see it's significantly larger. And Lothario now overlaps with Illyria. So, yeah. The range of the future Victor's Coalition jump ships are going to be... So I'm going to do a thing that recalculates all of the distances. Forgot to do that. Also forgot to change to oh. So next is we see that I'll have to write a script that goes through and calculates based on these systems what the actual neighbors will be. As well as relabels the Victor's Call, say relabels, say, as well as I need to do another one that'll recalculate the borders. Because the borders here, we have all of these. And it should be possible, I think, to just stitch together the borders for this slot. And then do that. Honestly, the biggest weakness of the Victor's Coalition military is just numbers and ground troops, right? They're, well, and like special forces, right? Also intelligence. The thing is, that Jun has a lot of tech, so anything that's tech related they can solve. They can make the best guns, they can make the best fighters, they can make better ships. You can make the best, like you can make the he can make the best ships, he can make, they can make whatever, they can just, as long as it comes out to just a matter of equipment, Jun can supply it. Unfortunately, Jun doesn't have the training to make the best special forces or spies that they can. Hey Zed, how's the progress on the game? But like the best they can do on the intelligence front is they've got their new logistics power trick, and then they have their ability to oh, nice. But yeah, Jun doesn't have the intelligence chops nor the special forces, like in terms of just training people. They can make awesome weapons and like armor and shit that are excellent for fighting against fighting against coalition forces and shit. So if I like fighting, let's say if we're giving the coalition forces opportunities, but they don't have the they don't have a built-out intelligence apparatus. They don't have a what's it called, complex they don't have the training for really high skilled operatives. Sure, they might have the best guns, but like they don't have the best sharpshooters, they don't have the best they don't have the best QCQ combatants, everything. Some of that they can address, which is I think why Jun will be considering revealing key manipulation to the the absolute secret most special forces of the Victus Coalition. But yeah. External person. I think interlude. I mean, I just did an interlude chapter where I had the reactions from Canopus and Comstar about the deal, but technically I haven't done interludes for everybody else reacting to the Victus Coalition being a thing, and also them having a deal, having a treaty with Canopus. That makes sense. So we do Lyran, perspectives on the formation of the Victus Coalition plus treaty with Canopus. Free world. The thing is, Jun doesn't actually have like a proper understanding of their key abilities, right? I think of their key related stuff, they have so if I look here, actually if I go here, because I can just look at the roles. Nope, nope, nope. No. They only have put your back into it. I think that's the only key ability that they have other than just large amounts of key. So like I'm going back here. Psionics, no. No, no, no. They have the psionics, they have the memory manipulation, so the memory reading stuff, which is how they have a slight edge in terms of that. Massive has mystic materials is interesting. I think this is what Jun did for the so this is more of the magically enhanced polymer. So yeah, spiritual energy, spiritual instinct, back altering. Yeah, I think put your back into it is the only key ability Jun has. I mean, they know souls exist. They have like this is basically like fundamental magical knowledge. But yeah, I don't think I don't think they have the knowledge necessary to just create like a key awakening pill. They would need to like actually and like that would be a long-term project for them. That said, like I am gonna have them train. Um, But yeah, Free World League, definitely important. Propellants? More concerned with the Davians. But gaining. And definitely the Lyrans. Who would say... Now, what perspective would this be in the Lyrans? Big successor. I know I did something with the Duke of Polesbo. Okay, and if I do Lyran Commonwealth, I want to know who their Archon is at this time. Before Katrina Steiner. It would be Alessandro at this time. What kind of person is he? I think the conversation between the Duke of Polesbo and the Archon, maybe? Arguing for not gaining control over Cercinus. This is okay. No, that's before here. Operation Freedom. Okay. Tied in the Free Worlds League. This is after this, right? It is currently 5th January. So we want to do this, and we want to say it's going to be 2 weeks after this, which is going to be Feb 10th, more or less, I think. We'll just have it at the start. I know this is a Monday. I think +5 is 30th. I think 2nd of Feb is a Monday, and then the Friday after that would be the 6th. So Jun could leave on the 7th. Yep. The Lyrans practice heavy stealth. Where is my calendar? Okay, so we did this. Yeah, that 5th. So 6th is the party. 7th, they're leaving. They're going to take about 2 months. So it will be somewhere early April-ish. Arrive. April. Okay, so let's do this. It was. So it's gonna be here. Wait a week. Say here. Take 2 weeks to get to the jump point. A week. Say transition week in that place, and then I need to do 12 3-day cycles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4th of April, more or less. Control over Sinus. Duke says that the. Wait, what was the exact deal Jun struck with the Duke? Base assets. In military support. Okay. So yeah, that the Jax is already being a massive benefit, and Persinus was devastated. Alessandro is not pleased due to the intelligence gathered Victus capabilities. Um. Um. Duke points out that they wouldn't have that knowledge if not for the deal. Hmm. Okay, so what is the planetary? I think Duke is the relevant one here, because the Duke is there to deal with uh, ooh, oh, uh, uh, mm, uh, mm, um, 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 so yeah, um, um, rising periphery is important, especially since their spies have noticed the yes. Also, Victus coalition existing weakens. Hmm. Uh, hmm. Um. 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 Uh. 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 Um. I've noticed the failed attack. Assassin. Decide. Do. So, Robert, does it make more sense for Jun to have maybe? I think Alessandro is more concerned with the Free Worlds League at the moment, and changing tracks is going to be tricky for him. I think later, closer to, I think between the period that Katarina disappears and then reappears, that might be a point where Alessandro could pull some bullshit, especially as the Victus Coalition is like very clearly recovering, right? So a few years from now in story, the Victus Coalition is starting to rebuild, and there is like signs of significant uplift. I think that's when Alessandro will get concerned. Star use suborned compromise propellant assets, or just fake a propellant. I'm still not certain which side of this makes more sense. Like, did Comstar like fabricate a mission for Maskarovka, or did they do effectively a false flag attack? The thing is, post-war, Jun is definitely going to be turning a lot of their focus inwards. As in, they'll be focused on just rebuilding after the massive assault. So anything outside of the Victors Coalition will be happening through trade deals. Um, um, uh, 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 hmm. So let's see. Reports from the Circinian War start to filter back. Also, Canopus. Canopus getting Alats is huge for them since they have the Marian intel from the war. They might hope that the Canopians are getting the V1 Alats, but aren't too optimistic. I mean, the Victors Coalition is trading with anyone who can pay at the moment, right? They're trading with they're going to be trading they're going to the big thing they're going to be focusing on is like dropship technology, right? Where Jun is rebuilding a lot of Illyrio's infrastructure and all of that. Um let's see. This is fine. The Lyran side of this is fine. L2 weaponry is big. Plans to steal, maybe? That's definitely a thing that would that's definitely a thing that would happen where um forces would be trying to steal Victon weapons. I'm not sure they need to. Like between their like now that they're not at war, they can start massively exporting computer systems. And at least on the consumer side of things, that those can be huge. Um. mm, uh, mm, mm, um, 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 mm, oh, Mm. Talk about additional support for the Arians, maybe? Actually, at the point drawing attention from Janos, I believe. Janos would be quite young now, so I think. Yeah. Janos would be quite young now. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Jun is definitely selling endosteel and other materials that they have reverse engineered. So that is going to be a big thing. Where like other people still have it's not technically lost tech because they still have the factories to make it, they just don't know how to make those factories anymore. Jun will be making new factories and expanding production and selling selling endosteel and that kind of thing. I believe. He's now learning about what the others have been funding. And is now in a position to decide whether they need to involve themselves as fate. Complete. Involve himself. Anything else that the Free Worlds League would care about? They might. But you have to recognize that the Victor's Coalition does come out of this war a winner, and with significant aerospace superiority, right? So they'll mostly be targeted by deniable assets like mercenaries and pirates. And without revealing that Jun can read minds, they wouldn't be able to lay the blame on anyone else. Granted, it also won't do much, but those factories will be in, like, Lothario and stuff, deep within Victor's territory. Would they, though? Because the only trading routes the trading route that's important is Illyria. Concern. Access. Trade deals. Illyria. Decides to lean on the admin first. The Palatinate administrators hiding from the war base. That makes sense. I feel like that covers enough for the Free Worlds League. I believe this is the era of Mad Max, right? For the Capellans. Yeah, this is. Been in power for a reasonable amount of time, too. Yeah, basically I'm saying that Illyria was a major dropship. So it was a dropship production center. So that was a thing. And that's why I'm saying that Janos will be basically saying, okay, we need to deal with, so we need to get the we need to, like, get some leverage over the administrators and basically force them, use them to gain some level of influence over Illyrian politics, at least. So yeah. To gain influence in big politics. But now I just need to do. Now, how does Mad Max react to the fact that there is a rising Okay, so he doesn't have, like, the best intelligence apparatus right now. it will get there by the time of the of Operation Foxhound. But I guess this will be the incentive for the Maskirovka funding now. A new Maskirovka funding moved up a year. To gain, to steal Victus, steal coalition technology, and gain access to their side. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, I think this makes sense for the interludes, where we have first the Canopus celebration, where Jun heads out to where Jun boards the where Jun is having the final speeches announcing the battle glue and then heading off. And then we have the interludes where let's see. I want this to be maybe 10th February. We want this to be okay. We also need to decide whether this was a Capellan operation or, you know what, it makes more sense for the Maskirovka funding if this is a false flag, or at least they aren't able to trace it to a direct. So, or maybe no, both sides make sense. Compromise would be bigger though. Comstar used a compromised Capellan asset to fabricate Assassination order. No, I'm gonna say this is a false flag. Comstar. Pigged. Yeah. Okay. So let's get this going. What is the... That is 309, so 310. With the final day. You think, right? Let's see. The 2-week rush session. And that was the battle blue think tank. Been massive push for it had been one of the best times of life. On one hand, they were in with some of the brightest minds that Canopus had to offer, each doing their utmost. Each piling on each other themselves at a project that would undoubtedly change human. The refinement of that to have produce a product so far advanced of anything product far in advance of anything that had initially expected. What was effectively battlefield surgical aid that could glue amputated limbs back onto stumps. Mere how? I mean, yes, everybody else in the room is basically saying, yep, everything coming out of the Victus Coalition makes sense because this guy is there. Right? Jun is an omnidisciplinary genius that is smarter than them in their own field. And they are watching Jun learn in real time, right? They're watching Jun go from, okay, it's obvious that they understand like what they understand how this battle blue stuff works and how to like optimize it and all of that stuff, and like how they came about this, like how they created this suspensory gel for antibiotics and that kind of thing, to, oh shit, this guy just isn't educated. Like, this is what they were able to do without a proper education. And by the end of it, as I'm putting up here, what comes out of that think tank after 2 weeks is basically something that'll allow people to take like, as long as it doesn't hit like an organ, like as long as it doesn't hit an organ, they'll be able to get up in like a few hours. Like there'll be a loss of strength and stuff, but yeah, and even with the organs, they'll be fine. They'll just need to spend time recovering. It could patch that would have killed people with otherwise been fatal with a simple press of. Was also the most stressful study session they had ever been a part of. Their late night cramming for the exams on Bolin had nothing on the days of... I mean, the thing is, they now understand how battle glue works. Right? Jun has to explain that in order to get their help with this with the stuff that they didn't know how to do. Thing is, none of them can figure out how the fuck Jun makes this. Like, it's effectively lost tech. Jun has invented lost tech, and they're the only ones who can make it. That is... Like, there is now a new lost tech in existence, and the only factories... And, like, because until Jun builds the factories capable of making it, people know it exists, and there is some of it there on Canopus. But no one else knows how to make it. Jun has invented a lost tech from, like, whole cloth. So yeah, so Jun, like, they're, yeah, like, perhaps with, like, a decade of research into, and, like, bringing in engineers and, like, chemists from other parts of the inner sphere, they might be able to replicate it, like, replicate the production process. But, like, yeah, none of the others have the engineering chops to recreate battle glue. Their late night cramming for exams had nothing on the 12 days working effectively non either debating various mechanisms with the and Jun does recognize that they are superhuman, right? They're the kind of hypocritical asshole who would totally stay awake for multiple nights in a row and then tell their employees to get good sleep, while everybody else stares at them for, like, being basically, like, running on what is effectively willpower. I'm fairly certain that some of the other scientists are convinced that Jun is on drugs because of the sheer amount of work that they're getting done. They're like, okay, no, this guy, this guy's taking something. And hey, it's Canopus. If it doesn't hurt anybody. Either debating various mechanisms with the doctor and working out new changes to apply to the system, or actually making those prototypes overnight to be able to test them the next day. But yeah, this is more of 2 5-day stints than it is that. Let's see. Still, the rapid development cycle had paid off, and at least being able to get thumbs. Else they been able to crash once the sprint unfortunately that did end up yeah. Jun's feats will be legendary. Like, just imagine what this looks like to your average Canopian, right? There's this guy who comes from another system in the middle of a war, arrives on Canopus, immediately becomes the single best-selling musician in probably the better part of a century. Starts a treaty with the Magistrix, and then come and then you hear from your buddies that, oh, this guy is also like a genius doctor who is like absolutely revolutionized the field of battlefield medicine, and will be and it like in the next thing, and will soon be releasing like this massive medical, say, this new medical product that'll change the thing. Oh, it also survives multiple assassination attempts, and yeah, like, to everybody else, Jun's life is insane. To Jun's life is insane, but they have to get used to it. Um. Oh no! At this point, basically anybody who has enough information is convinced that Jun is an alien. Well, not like an alien, but they at the very least are convinced that Jun comes from a hyper-advanced civilization that managed to escape the parent hegemony and has like their own civilization beyond known human space. Basically, everybody thinks that Jun is like a techno-clanner, where instead of weird military bullshit, this group just sort of like spec'd into science and stuff. If it ever comes out where Jun is from, no one is going to believe it. Like honestly, Melpomene might actually be safe from people trying to find Jun's family there, because no one is going to believe that Jun grew up on some random farm on this like deep periphery planet that had like next to no infrastructure from before Jun came back there. Absolutely no one's going to believe that Jun is from there. They're going to believe that like he replaced the original Jun and then like has taken over their life. That rest was probably. Let's see. That rest was to deal with the political. Really need. So they. Let's see. Wait, does this sound right? Yep, that sounds good. Blah 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 blah. Yep. Rest was question. Right. They swirl the wine as they look over the raw. Party that till the event. Basically, what are you saying? That like they think that like, oh, that would be hilarious as like as an Omake bit, right? Where there is a consistent conspiracy theory that like this one group of Star Trek nerds who disappeared during the Terran hegemony days, like during the colonial expansion that led to the Thorian Concordat, just kind of disappeared into the depths of the periphery and just kind of set themselves up and cosplay the Federation to this day. Uh, Basically, they just set up in some deep corner of the galaxy, and then like they made their way back, saw what the inner sphere has turned into, and then like seeded an agent to begin the uplift, like to start unfucking humanity. Uh, uh, the Magus. Uh, Good center. Announcing the treaty signed between the Victus Coalition and the with the practice the okay, I'm gonna be right back. 1 second, I just want to grab one. We're doing this, but yeah. Basically, yeah, like Jun isn't. It's like Jun, I don't think Jun reveals inertial compensators and artificial gravity, right? Mm, I mean, they would kind of need to if they're going to, but that's only if they sell the Nuoli. I think Jun doesn't want to sell the Nuoli because if they did, it would be what do you call it? It would be it would be too big of a risk because other forces might deploy Nuoli to break the cordon that Victus Coalition forces can enforce. So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the jump ship charging stations, better computers, the water filters are fairly like basic. Right now, Jun is about halfway to another perk. I haven't done any dialogue yet, so. Thankfully, they had managed to palm off the history. So the of the war to Gabriel. Thankfully, they managed to pawn off the history of the war and the formation of the coalition. But the wanted to make a I'm not sure. So yeah. The actually, how long has the how long has the how long have the Marians existed? Uh, um, about 100 years now. Almost. What do you mean? You mean this? Yeah. It is a really nice looking map. Honestly, with how much Jun likes, like early jump and early jump drive and early colonization / pre jump drive. What do you mean this? You can turn it off. What do you call it? But yeah, Jun would actually definitely like Star Trek, and there is a non-zero chance that Jun would actually have watched it or maybe read some of the stuff if they could get a hold of it. Like, the thing is, a bunch of places would have old public domain entertainment, and by the time of colonization, Star Trek, Star Trek, Star Wars, all those other shows would be would be public domain, and like corporations that want to cheap out on entertainment would totally do that. So, at least, especially something big like um Star Trek would be fairly easy to get your hands on. Uh, uh, mm, uh, 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 mm, uh, uh, Yep. Uh, uh, um, to say that the building energy to the um um people. Ooh, uh, uh, That's not to say that Jin didn't understand why. To say Jin didn't understand why. That's not to say Jun did understand why. The crowd was being. There was a growing increase. Right. Oh, calls for ringing through the ringing through the let me see. With no, sorry. This was perhaps one of the best places. Div style. Size. Yes, best. Oh, you can totally do that. Huh. Color. Purple. I mean, the big thing about Battle Glue is that it takes zero skill to apply, right? It's relatively cheap to make, and it takes zero skill to apply. So, like, basically anybody in, like, any medic can spray it on for, like, any injury, as long as it isn't, like, even broken bones can be dealt with, because there are because there's mechanisms inside that will be that will increase, like, bone bonding, right? There's like like, technically this battle glue is now a two-part system, where you first apply a bone glue to reconnect the bones and seal fractures, and then you have a second thing that reconnects flesh and skin and that kind of thing. So yeah, I sort of say Jun didn't understand. Best options she would have in the immediate to help with probably, like, maybe on an economic level the Jex is better, just because of how it interacts with the rest of the inner sphere. But on a, like, impact to people's day-to-day lives kind of situation, or like on more immediate impact kind of situation, battle glue is better. Like, the Jex would have, like, the Jex and ISAPs will have longer term economic implications, but yeah. Not to mention that the no-clad satellites will have a benefit when it comes to, like, resource utilization and stuff. The thing is, to the rest of the inner sphere, this is going to look like what happens when Canopus medical expertise is blended with Jun's engineering capabilities, right? To them, Jun say, like, the exact nature, like the exact development timeline of Battle Glue is going to be kept a secret. and it's only ever going to be sold through Canopus. Because that is part of the deals that they're doing for like gaining a long-term ally. Hmm. Hmm. Um. Um. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. But yeah, it's going to be like a massive benefit for trauma and first aid. To help with recruitment and building up. The even if the actual war against the Marians would likely probably. Especially with the Brigade's own again people would be dragging dragging her people into a war. Good problem. Well, Mm, mm, uh, but between their own music, the operation, and yeah, mm, this should be a good for build. For build our own upper position. Mm, yep. Mm, which is why, like, the jacks and eventually the jump ships they'll be making are going to be a huge deal, but this is something that's going to remain a huge deal for a very long time. Mm, mm. Go for it, man. Just political space. Jim nodded. Give a priest. not the assertive. How could we? What? From jump. Um. Um. I don't think anyone would have blamed you for taking some time to rest after what they chuckled. Um. mm, 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 um. Mm, mm, uh, mm, uh, um, mm, mm, mm. Unfortunately, I'm sure that much are connected. Yeah, and the position is rather fortunate. My absence would be I'm would be those. Mm, and be kind who would take that wrong. Uh, various expressions flickered through mind as he laughed. Mm, um, mm, um, um, Mm-hmm. Uh, mm, uh, mm, I guess. Or do. This. Will be. Uh, mm, 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 uh, mm, 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 mm. Managing the take that and get. Mm, going to be quite fast. Maybe. Um, mm, uh, oh, with any, it will be a good. Put some before need to get back. I've sent news I can. But we will only have limited contact back to Lyria. Only so much. we'll only have them. There's only some work that we will do. Oh. I can fix of getting away from things. Perhaps I should arrange something that sort of the look. I think the fund was and the time. Here speaks as the right it wasn't too quite a but it's been enough. So keep things to need some right now. Jun, like, the thing is, Jun socializing now is less effective than Jun socializing once the Victor's Coalition is a proper thing, right? As in, they're like actually recovering and everything. They're in a weaker political position now, which means exposing themselves is like providing additional political attack surface. They're forced to, if they try and socialize now, they'll be forced to make statements that could complicate things in the future. However, once they're in a better position, they can decide to make I've been enough to at least make some space and did have a draw on those final dregs of energy for performance. So, before they were to collapse into the river. Be driven directly to the Okay. I think that's where we end off today. That is 292. And yeah. I'm gonna get some rest. Here's Robert. Sure thing.